Hi guys, it's Carissa from the Community Library and I'm here today for our week 2 video activity. So last week we made those wreath bases using cardboard and string or twine. If you missed week 1, go back to our Facebook page as well as our YouTube. It is labeled week 1 video activity or wreath base. So today we are going to be decorating them. I've got some lovely felt flowers here and I'm going to show you how to make those. The great thing about these is that they clip on with bobby pins, so I can remove it easily, it doesn't damage your wreath, and then that way if you want to make a variety of colors, say you looked up a different pattern on how to make felt flowers, maybe you've come up with something else that you wanted to put on it, you can change it out depending on the season or depending on your mood. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to make these. They're very simple. You're going to be able to make a bunch of them in no time. So let me set that over there. So things you will need. You are going to need some craft felt. You will need a good pair of scissors because we are cutting felt. I will include the link for the template and where I found it in the bottom of the video. You're going to need some tape. I found this is the easiest way to cut them out. You're going to need some bobby pins. Bought them from the dollar store for $1. And then I went ahead and if you can tell, I'll bring this a little closer. I used some glitter glue and just some little crystals on mine. So I've got some crystals and then I've got my glitter glue. So feel free to decorate however you want to. I also recommend using like Crayola marker on felt. You can then kind of like shade it so it gives it a little more realistic look because you can get a vary in the tone. Something you can try, you don't have to. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump in. So I'm going to say, say you've printed this out from the link that I've provided and we're going to go ahead and cut it out. And so we're going to start cutting. Now this is just an example of how you're going to layer it. And then you'll notice that you have all these petals on the flowers and none of the petals are labeled except for one that says green leaf. So we're going to cut that one out first. So I'm just going to slowly kind of cut it out so that it's still, you know, intact. It's still on the paper. I didn't do any real cutting on it. So we're going to take our green felt here and I'm going to lay it down. And then what I have found works out really, really well is if you just take a little bit of tape, take your tape, roll it into a nice little tube, and then just stick it right under the center of that flower because you're not going to be cutting there. And then just tape that right onto your felt. That's going to keep your flower on your felt, and then you can just cut using the lines on your paper, and you don't have to trace it or anything. That's what I found. So I've got my green taped on. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut out the rest and I'm going to portion them out. And then we will go ahead and I will cut these out and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so we've cut all of those pieces out. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to just peel the nice little thing. And you can keep these now. You can just put them on wherever you need. If you're going to make multiple flowers, maybe you just want to make one flower and use it as a hairpin. That's your decision. So I've made a couple here and I'm going to show you how to lay them out and then we'll move on to the next step. Come on. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and layer them how that they're going to be on. Now you'll notice that when you cut them out, you have a couple different sizes and a couple that are the same. So you've got your big green one, and then you have two that are the same size, and then you've got some that then move incrementally down in size. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your big green one and set it down, and then you're going to choose your bottom layer, whichever of the biggest ones you want. And then, so once you get that situated, we're going to go ahead and use some hot glue. And we're just going to hot glue it right down, just with a little dot in the center. Now, if you were using your markers, now would be the time to marker them so that you don't stack your whole flower and get it all glued down and be like, oh, I wanted to marker some color on it. Do it before you do the gluing. So my next one's going to be that second duplicate of that first size. Put that on. See, I got a little bit of a tag left. Alright, I'm going to go for our next biggest. And then we're just going to continue on until we've glued them all down. Alright, so while we wait for that glue to finish cooling, so we've got it all nicely stacked, we're going to take just a scrap of fabric, doesn't have to be whatever color scrap you've got, doesn't have to be green, and we're just going to cut a little circle out. And I just made it about this size here. What we're looking for is you need to be able to run it under your bobby pin, or in between your bobby pin. And you want there to still be bobby pin off to the side. And then we're going to glue it. I'm going to put hot glue so that those bumps are facing up. So we're going to glue the back of the flower to the top of this where those bumps are facing up. I'm just going to take it, and we're just going to lay it right down. And you're going to want to make sure that your broader big green leaves cover the ends of your bobby pin so that when we pin it onto our wreath, you're not seeing the bobby pin. Alright, so I've got it glued down. Got a nice little bobby pin on here, and you can see it on the back. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use some glitter glue and some rhinestones, and we're going to make this look really fancy. And then I will show you how easy it is to just add it onto our wreath, and then you'll be done. But wait! It's week 2 activity, which means there is a secret code word for you to get 3 raffle tickets toward our summer reading through our Beanstack. And the secret code word this week is dragon. So you are looking for the word dragon when you go to enter into that week 2 video activity, and it asks you for that secret code word. The word you're looking for is dragon. So make sure that you write down dragon to get those 3 raffle tickets. That is for the adults. I did not say that last week, and I had a kid who was very upset because his week video code activity wasn't working. This is for the adult summer reading. The word is dragon. I feel really bad and I'm sorry. I didn't even think that anyone but the adults were going to be watching my wreath video, so I'm very sorry that I misled you to believe that this was the wrong code word. Also, don't know if any of you know, but we will be doing the same schedule. So if you're looking for adult activities, those will be held on Tuesdays. If you're looking for children's activities, be looking on Wednesday. If you're looking for teen activities, be looking on Thursday. I know also with the children, they are going to be doing a science video on Fridays. And I know if you've signed your kid up for summer reading, but you haven't gone to Google Classrooms, definitely check out the Google Classrooms link that I know Vicki has up on Facebook, because she's been posting all sorts of great stuff in the Google Classroom for our summer reading kids, so that if they missed a video or they need help, or she's got an extra coloring page in there, all sorts of things, especially to help you get your week activities for the kids, because the kids are doing weekly activities every week. So some of them are things like write a myth, or tell us about a fantasy creature that you've created. So if they're having trouble or doing things like that, definitely check out her Google Classrooms. So I've gone ahead and I've gone and put our glitter glue on. Look at how fancy it looks. And then I'm just going to take our wreath and you're just going to kind of separate the bobby pin a little bit, just as you would if you were going to put it in your hair. And you're just going to pick up, since I used the twine, you're going to pick up just one or two of the strands with the bobby pin and just slide it. And you can kind of adjust the flower out as you go. And look at how pretty it looks. So I've got my wreath. I think I'll probably make a few more flowers on here. You might see it hanging here at the library. So next week we're going to be making rainbow keychains. They're actually rainbows, and I'm going to show you how to wrap those. So you're going to need clothesline cording, and you can get it at Joann's. It's like 99 cents a yard. You're going to need some wire, because we're going to have to wire wrap those. You're going to need some string or yarn. Again, this is going to be the same thing. The chunkier it is, the quicker it'll wrap. These are keychains, so maybe use not the chunky yarn or the super bulk, but you know, one of the other kinds of yarns. You're going to need some painter's tape, and you're going to need a keychain fob so that you can turn it into a keychain. You will also need a needle and some thread. Doesn't need to be anything fancy for the needle or the thread, because we're just going to sew it a little bit. So that will be next week. I will see you next week. I will see you for next week's week 3 video activity. And don't forget, tonight is also Trivia Tuesdays. Join us for Trivia Tuesday. We have a lot of fun. All right. See you all next week.